What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Tarun's Thoughts. My name's Tarun Shetty. These are my thoughts. I hope everyone's having a good day. It's Friday, big Friday, here in Wimauma, Florida. I'm driving to Dunkin' Donuts. I resisted coffee, the iced coffee all week, and now I'm like, actually I didn't. I was in Chicago, but today I was like, I'm just gonna get one. Who cares? I went running last night, so I feel like I deserve one. That's my justification. Tonight I have a show at a comedy club in St. Petersburg. I'm always going to St. Petersburg, but this one club shows me a lot of love. It's called Spitfire, and I'm excited to do it. I'm gonna close the show. And there's like an energy, like when you know you're gonna perform, when you have something to do, there's this motivation. Like I feel like, I don't know, just motivated to that there's something at the end of the day versus, you know, sitting around all day. I'm writing some stuff I'm writing like a movie, but I've got some deadlines for that, and that is so hard. The writing stuff is incredibly difficult because I really have to sit down and do it, and I never feel like secure. Like there's always like a blank page in front of you. You have to come up with like just new shit, and from a creative person, it's hard. Like I wonder sometimes if when the stakes are higher at some point in the future, if I'll be able to deliver, because this isn't like a job where you just go to your office and you just, you know, answer phones. Like you have to just create something, and it's got to be somewhat decent. So I tell myself it doesn't have to be good. I can just, as long as I do the work, I can shape it later and rewrite it. And I try to take that pressure off. That's how I do it. I was actually up for a modeling job this weekend in Miami. I almost canceled this gig. It was like a 3 or 4 day gig in Miami. It paid like a lot of money. And honestly, it's like my first paid like modeling gig in almost a year and a half. So I was excited to go to Miami, and I was like, maybe I can get laid or something. I don't know. I was just creating these dream scenarios where I fly to Miami, I stay at a nice hotel, I'm just like taking a mini vacation, and then I was on a veil for it, which means I was down to like the last few, and then they released me, which means I did not get it. I was like, well, I never had the job anyways. But also, I feel like people are booking me off my old photos. I have like new photos, but my old photos I had like long hair and I like looked sexy. Now I'm like, I look like somebody's accountant or something. That'd be kind of funny, right? I show up like, who are you? I'm here to model. God, this show tonight though, I feel really good about my stand-up. People sick of hearing me talk about my stand-up comedy, like who cares? I feel really confident, and I don't think I had this confidence in my stand-up back in LA. And the reason is because LA is so competitive. Like I think the last time I was this confident was when I was in New York City, when I was like performing stand-up like every night. And honestly, I came out to LA, I was kind of like a beast. Like I was just destroying every audience, and because, you know, that's all I knew was how to do stand-up. I didn't know how to act. I didn't really make films at the time. And I got to LA, and I was at the Laugh Factory, and I was doing all these shows, and then slowly it kind of denigrated where I wasn't as strong, because stage time is hard to come by, and I wasn't like a road dude. I wasn't performing on the road. So, you know, I could just kind of get by on stage, but I wasn't like bringing anything. But now I feel like I honestly am bringing some heat to the stage, just because I've been doing it. Like, it's all I focus on primarily, that and my writing stuff. So maybe there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I recently made an Instagram post about Theo Von. I was debating whether to do it or not, but Theo Von was in Bobby Khan. He was in a movie that I made and I acted in. He was the roommate that went to India. So I know Theo from, he's like a big comic right now. He's got a lot of heat. And I'll tell you, I've mentioned this before, like when your friends get famous, like it's kind of hard to talk to them because they kind of level up. And Theo's a great guy, but I wanted to show my support regardless. I've just noticed that most comedians don't support each other. I have so many comic friends on my social media, like rarely any of them like my stuff aside from like my best friends. And it's kind of like a shitty thing, I think. So I was like, let me just throw up a post and show my support. I don't even know if he saw it or not, but I hope like when I do reach a certain level, comics support me as opposed to being jealous and bitter. I'll tell you something about Theo that I really like. Like when I knew him, he was just coming off a reality show and he wanted to be a comedian, and really nobody took him serious. Like people were just like, oh, there's that reality guy from like Road Rules, or he was on some MTV show. And he saw it though. Like he knew what he wanted to do, and he'd like always write these jokes and show up to Bruco, this room me and Adam Hunter used to run, and he would do his stuff. And I feel like that vision is so important. So I was talking to a friend of mine in LA yesterday, an actor friend, and some of my friends in LA, I have to seriously meditate before I talk to them. I like just take a breath because there's so much anger coming off my friends in LA. And I gotta remember, like, my friends live in a very competitive town, and like he was just going off about somebody's movie who we know, and I was just like, dude, it's such a waste of energy, because I was like that in my 20s, and I can still be like that. But I feel like anger and hate and jealousy, yeah, look, the jealousy thing, it's gonna happen if you're in a competitive field, right? That's just human nature. But you don't have to react to it. I feel like when you react to it, you're just draining your own reservoir. So I had to just, he said something kind of triggered me, and literally in the conversation I had to close my eyes and be like, all right, let this pass. You don't have to react to him. And then I wonder, I'm like, well, should I have those people in my lives? I don't know. He's a good friend, so I would never cut him off if he ever watches this. But I am, though, very aware of energy, and I never had that when I was younger, but now I'm very particular about who I talk to, and I wonder about my own, like, relationships. Like, when I hang out with girls and stuff, like, their energy, it doesn't matter how hot you are, what your personality's like, if your energy sucks, there is no future. And I hope I can recognize that in the first 30 seconds. You know, and vice versa. If my energy sucks, cut me off. But my energy's great. I was looking at like all the news stories yesterday, and Chappelle is still trending. You guys following this story? I guess he talks about like transgender people in his last special. I'm a huge fan from back in the day. Like his newer stuff is like, it's whatever. I feel like he was much better when he was younger, when he was hungry. Now it's almost like you're seeing like Chappelle, and people are kind of giving him famous laughs, if that makes any sense. Anyways, also, I'm not political, but I have no opinion on transgender stuff, but I don't want to see someone do 45 minutes on it. But, you know, that's what he does. He's an artist. He does what he does, and he's intrinsically who he is, and I do respect that. I mean, I pretty much will always take a comedian's side because I believe in freedom of speech. And I do love how Chappelle, Jerry Seinfeld, Louis C.K., Bill Burr, Ellen DeGeneres, I guess, it's kind of like that. Like, they just, you know, comedians live on their own island. Like, they don't care. That's why they're comedians, and that's why they've chosen this profession, so they can speak their mind and thoughts and make it funny. Or try to be funny. And, you know, that's why comedy's subjective. It's not funny to everybody, but I find it hilarious that they're trying to make him apologize, because I feel like he's the last guy who gives a fuck about apologizing. The guy walked away from $50 million on the Chappelle show. So, I'm curious. I think what he does will dictate how comics react in the future, because he's at the top of the mountain, so if he apologizes, I don't know what's gonna happen. Anyways, I hope everyone has a great day. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so. Like it if you want. Take care.